Selena here. I am going to be discussing a few questions or topics that the professor wants me to go over. So the first one would be assimilation, accommodation, and schemas. Consider Pagets' concept of assimilation, accommodations, and schemas. Explain those concepts. What stages in Satir's model can you relate to these ideas? Well, assimilation says that we take our what our experiences are and fit it into the existing schema. It refers to how we interpret new information, considering what we currently are knowledgeable in now. Accommodation means that we need to create a new schema because it no longer exists. You must do the new schema, the new change. You must be the one to use the accommodation process. You need to be the one to adjust into a new schema. Assimilation example could be like when people say, I want my life back how it was before. So that's an example of what assimilation would be. So, when people say, I want my life back how it was before. So that's when you must create a new schema because things can't go back to how they were. Piaget describes an adaptation to include both assimilation and accommodation. Piaget's conception of assimilation involves integrating new actions into new schemas, in which will then, this is linked to stage 3. Piaget's concept of assimilation involves integrating new ideas into new schemas. So Piaget's concept of assimilation involves integrating new actions into new schemas. Okay, so this is linked to stage 3 in the Satir model. This is something that occurs during the chaotic stage, of course, where individuals obtain this fresh knowledge. Then after the fresh knowledge is obtained, this is when the participants or the people involved they then comprehend what's going on, the chaos or the foreign object or whatever comes into play. Then now they're aware of, now they're comprehending the data that has come into. So now, to integrate the new data and then going back to previously integrated information. The chaos will persist, but eventually will calm now that that new information has been presented. Okay, so first they're like, whoa, oh my gosh, this is happening. And then they comprehend, they're like, okay. And then they're like, okay, then they have to deal with it. And then that's when the change occurs. Okay. All right, developmental transition. How do Freud and Erikson view developmental transition? What does the Satir video add to your understanding of developmental transition in the Freud and Erikson's models? Developmental transitions in Freud and Erikson's ideas focus on the importance of how everyday life struggles and chaos can shape an individual to learn from that chaos or the struggle. Either they can learn from it in a bad way or a good way. So basically, difficulties and challenges that individuals face promote change. That's just what it is. For example, there could be a sudden death in the family that disrupts the equilibrium that focuses on the, forces the unit to change. So basically, in order for there to be a change, something must occur that is not part of the norm for the change to occur. It's just like that one saying that goes around, it's insane to think, doing the same thing over and over and over, doing the same thing that it's insane to think that there's something is going to change, so something has to occur, something different has to occur for that change to happen. Okay, so epistemological lens. How does understanding Bateson's notion of epistemological lens help to make you a better therapist? Epistemological lens means that it's like the study of knowledge. How we take in what we perceive and give it meaning to it. How understanding Bateson's notion of an epistemological lens can help me become a better therapist, because it allows you to avoid bias against other individuals' narratives by being aware of, my own lens, and to better emphasize with, other individuals and their unique, other people's unique perspectives. It helps us to better understand and recognize the influence of our own belief systems and our own understandings of clients. Clients is their experiences. Better understanding of our client's point of view can make us become a better therapist. Lifespan development. What are the key characteristics of lifespan development according to the Belts video? According to Belts. According to Baltz, the lifespan development occurs lifelong, hence the name. The key characteristics of lifespan development is that it is lifelong, multidimensional, multidirectional, plastic, contextual, and multidisciplinary. Comparison and contrast of general societal messages using Bateson's notion of an epistemological lens. Compare and contrast the general societal messages about the meaning of going to therapy with your own beliefs. So by using the Bateson's notion of an epistemological lens, it will allow me to be a better therapist because I will not push bias on my clients' different perspectives other than mine. It is important to provide therapy as this world is getting worse and worse each day. We are dealing with different things such as death, divorce, shooting, terror, school shootings, terror, etc., etc. So providing a way for people to escape and pour their issues into someone to help them with their mental status is an amazing thing. Stages of change in action. Offer an example from your own life that demonstrates Satir's stages of change in action. Well, there's a lot of things that have occurred in my life that have definitely have led me to where I am today, and that has definitely has gone through these stages of change, Satir's stages of change, one being that one of those things that happened, May 20th of 2022, my 20-year-old daughter tragically passed away. She got ran over by a car. And so just that life experience in itself totally, I went through all these stages of change, and just going through that experience in life, it has broken a cycle. It made me a better person. It made me make different decisions, and so it was just a tragic situation, to go through a loss of a child, and then, shortly after that, a divorce, and, not a divorce, but a separation, and then, children, the situation with my children, and then, shortly after, and, losing my home and my job and my car, and, then losing everything, and then getting, with a nurse, I was a respiratory therapist, and, I lost everything, and now he's in prison for 3 years. So within this last 5 years, I've dealt with a lot of life experiences. I would say that I'm very experienced, and I will be a very experienced therapist because I literally have dealt with everything that we have discussed in this course, period. So I can relate to everyone basically, but anyhow, almost, except for the fact. Anyhow. So, importance to marriage and family therapists. Address how and why developmental therapy in general is important to the work of MFTs. Developmental theory in general is important to the work of MFTs because it gives us the framework to better integrate, inform, interpret, and understand the stages so that we can provide better treatment to our clients, and it will allow you to better understand your patients better. So that's what I got. Thank you.